Can I request that we flight the agenda for members to look at it and hear if they have input? Okay, honorable members, we must get an update over Mr. Paulo Sullivan matter. I just want to bring it to your attention that, like the committee decided, we wrote to Mr. Paulo Sullivan advising him to appear before the committee this week. We should get an update on that during the presentations. And we have also agreed that the legal team will present an opinion on the Mr. Paulo Sullivan's matter. It has circulated with us. Mr. Tejana will make that presentation. And we should also deal with the scheduling of witnesses. And I'm going to suggest that we take the first three items together because they talk to each other, the three of them. It will make our meeting easier. And maybe even on the scheduling, in our last meeting, we said the legal team should go and assess the statements of General Msikiri and General Sintumule. So they will, when they talk to the item on scheduling, they will also give us a report on the status of the two witnesses. And then we have correspondence from Mr. Honorable Matlatsi, just to refresh the committee. When we dealt with the submissions that were made by Honorable Skosana and Honorable Sols, Honorable Matlatsi had made a submission that there was one witness that he felt the committee may have to give him chance to come and present before it. And when the matter appeared before the committee decided that the information which was provided was insufficient. So that was brought to Mr. Honorable Matlatsi's attention, and he tried to provide more details and motivation as to why that witness must be called by the committee. The committee will interact with that. And then we also have a correspondence from representatives of Ms. Sarah Jane Trent regarding some of what they think are sensitive matters that were presented in our proceedings, and consideration of 7 sets of minutes. I have spoken to Mr. Bonani that we struggled last week with the flighting of the minutes. It took us long unnecessarily, and he assured me that today we will not have the problem that we had last week. It has been attended to. So those are the items, honorable members, on the agenda. Let me check with yourselves if there are any members who will want to add or subtract items from this agenda. I'm on the list of members. I'm not seeing any hand. I'm not seeing any microphone on. My assumption is that the members are agreeing that we must proceed with the agenda as it is. Okay, thank you so much. Honorable Sangoni, your hand is up.
No, it's fine. I was going to help you, Chair, move for the adoption of the agenda, but I think you've passed that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Mr. Tejana and Advocate Arens, can you please take us through the first three items.
Good morning again, Chairperson. Good morning to the honorable members and to my colleagues as well. Chairperson, I'm going to deal with the update on Mr. Paul O'Sullivan's matter. And my colleague, Ms. Telana Halistaki, will deliver the opinion on the matter. And of course, Advocate Norman Arens SC will take us through the witness schedule. Chairperson, you will recall that on Thursday, the 26th of February 2026, and after Mr. O'Sullivan had walked out of the committee proceedings without your permission and in violation of the rules of the National Assembly and the Powers and Privileges Act, you posed a question to committee members whether it is their wish for Mr. O'Sullivan to come back to the committee and complete his evidence. The committee resolved resoundingly that Mr. O'Sullivan must come back and conclude his evidence, and as he was still under examination when he walked out of the committee proceedings. We can confirm that on Friday, the 27th of February 2026, we addressed correspondence to Mr. O'Sullivan inviting him to appear before this committee on Thursday, 5 March 2026, as he was still under examination when he decided to abandon committee proceedings without the permission of the chairperson. Chairperson, may I also add that Mr. O'Sullivan has been put to terms in that we have informed him to indicate to you his willingness to appear before the committee by no later than today at 12 midday. We can also confirm that in the event that Mr. O'Sullivan does not comply with the committee's invitation for him to appear before it, a summons has already been prepared in order to secure his attendance or his appearance. The summons procedure is provided for in Section 56A of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, read with Section 14(2)(b) of the Powers and Privileges Act. The Powers and Privileges Act requires that a summons must be issued by the Secretary to Parliament on the instructions of the chairperson of the committee concerned, acting in accordance with a resolution of the committee and with the concurrence of the Speaker of the National Assembly. Chairperson, you will recall that on Thursday, the 27th of February 2026, you had taken the committee into confidence by sharing details of a briefing we had with the Speaker of the National Assembly and which took place on the same day and at the Speaker's instance. All I can say is that the Speaker, as the issuing authority insofar as the summons procedure is concerned, is briefed in this regard. The Speaker indicated that she is at the service of the committee and will act as soon as she is formally briefed about what the committee has resolved in this regard. Chairperson, to this end, I can also confirm that a request for concurrence has been prepared for signature by both the chairperson of the committee and the Speaker, should Mr. O'Sullivan not comply with the committee's invitation. Chairperson, please allow me to rest. I thank you. Over to you, Ms. Halistaki.
Thank you, Mr. Tichana. Morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members. I will take the committee through the legal opinion drafted by the Constitutional and Legal Services Office concerning the incident that took place on Thursday, 26 February, involving Mr. O'Sullivan, while being led by our junior counsel, Advocate Mkhize. Members, as the chairperson pointed out, you have all received the legal opinion. It was circulated to the chairperson on Friday at 8 p.m. I will therefore confine my remarks to a concise executive summary, and with your permission, chairperson, I'm confident that the members have an opportunity to have considered the opinion in full. So this will be really brief. By way of background, members, you will recall that during the examination of Mr. O'Sullivan, he became really agitated and repeatedly indicated that he needed to leave the hearing by 1 to avoid missing a flight. And despite the request from the chairperson and members to remain seated and complete his testimony, he stood up and left the proceedings. The central question, therefore, is twofold, honourable members. What are the remedies available to this committee to compel Mr. O'Sullivan to complete his examination? And secondly, does his conduct constitute an offence or a contempt of Parliament? The legal opinion that members have received analyzes the applicable regulatory framework, including the relevant rules of the National Assembly, the applicable provisions of the Constitution, and 4 pertinent sections of the Powers and Privileges Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act, the PIPLA. Members are aware that the National Assembly Rule 183 requires any person appearing before the committee, including counsel and attorneys, to observe the directions of and conform to the procedures determined by the chairperson. Further, members are aware that Section 56A of the Constitution empowers the National Assembly or any of its committees to summons any person to appear before to give it evidence. The key issue for legal clarity is what are the provisions in the PIPLA which are applicable to the present facts. If members will indulge me, I'll briefly address the relevant sections and their applicability. So let's first go through the provisions that aren't applicable in this instance. So members, 17(1)(a) provides that a person who has been duly summoned in terms of Section 14 must remain in attendance until excused, failing which an offence has been committed. As Mr. Sullivan was invited and not formally summoned, this section does therefore not apply. If we move on to Section 13, Section 13, read with 12, deals with the contempt of Parliament by a member who contravenes specified provisions of the Act. As Mr. O'Sullivan is not a member of Parliament, this provision is likewise inapplicable. However, if we proceed to Section 7A of the PIPLA, 7A of the PIPLA is of particular relevance. It provides that a person may not improperly interfere with or impede the exercise or performance by Parliament, a House or committee of its authority or functions. And then if we look at Section 27, it stipulates that the contravention of Section 7 constitutes an offence, attracting liability to a fine or imprisonment. So, honourable members, on a plain and grammatical interpretation of the term impede, it denotes conduct that is obstruct or hinders the progression of Parliament's work. In leaving the proceedings prematurely, Mr. O'Sullivan's actions may reasonably be construed as interfering with or impeding the committee in the execution of its mandate. Honourable members, the committee's terms of reference require it to assess the veracity of allegations advanced by various witnesses, including that of Mr. O'Sullivan, whose evidence was material, particularly in relation to allegations of political interference in police operations. His departure before completing his examination therefore hampered the committee's ability to discharge of its functions in terms of the terms of reference. Additionally, honourable members, if you consider 17(1)(c)(1), 1C1 of the PIPLA, it provides that a person who fails without sufficient cause to answer fully and satisfactorily any questions lawfully put to them commits an offence. Therefore, members, given that Mr. O'Sullivan left while under examination and without the permission of the chairperson, this provision may also be engaged. In conclusion, based on the analysis set out in the legal opinion before this committee, the Constitutional and Legal Service Officers is of the view that Mr. O'Sullivan has potentially committed a statutory offence in terms of Section 7A, read with 27 of the PIPLA. Furthermore, Mr. O'Sullivan has potentially committed a statutory offence in terms of 17(1)(c)(1) of the PIPLA. The committee is at liberty to invoke its summoning power, as Mr. Techana has explained, enshrined in both the Constitution and the PIPLA and the National Assembly rules, and is advised to write to Mr. Sullivan detailing the recourse as set out above. However, this committee on the 26th of February resolved to invite Mr. O'Sullivan to return to Parliament. That said, the committee is firmly within its rights to invoke any of the above-mentioned legal remedies should Mr. Sullivan not comply with the committee's invitation to return to Parliament. Thank you, honourable members.
Okay, Advocate Arendse.
Good morning, Honourable Chair, honourable members and my colleagues, and thank you, Ms. Ali and Mr. Tatiana for the presentation of the opinion. I have nothing to add. I concur. In relation to Mr. O'Sullivan himself, he has confirmed that he will be in attendance on Thursday. One, to conclude the questioning by Advocate Mkhize. I think she had 2 or 3 questions left. And then, of course, to deal with the matter that's just been addressed. I'm not sure which one, obviously, within your discretion, which one you deal with first. Otherwise, in relation to if someone can just flight the witness or the proposed witness schedule, if I could go through that, Honourable Chair, honourable members.
Advocate Arendse.
Yes, I was requesting someone to flight the proposed witness schedule for this week and next week, because I'm not able to do it from my end.
Okay, I think we must. Okay, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that, but it's a matter which I think members will raise during discussions. Let's have Mr. Paulo Sullivan come in, like we advised him to come this week, and the committee will engage with him when he comes, whether it's a full day or it's 5 hours. Let him come. I don't think he's coming specifically for Advocate Mkhize, because committee members may have issues that they want to raise with him. So let's just say when he comes, it must be for Thursday.
Yes, Honourable Chair, did indicate it's subject to your discretion and the committee member.
Thank you so much for your efforts.
But from our side, we had those few questions left. Just in relation to the schedule, tomorrow we have Lieutenant General Moshakiri and General Sentumule. Lieutenant General Moshakiri will appear. A statement has been made available to the honourable committee members for some time now. General Sentumule, however, will not be able to appear and has formally apologized and requested permission not to appear tomorrow due to a medical incident that arose on the weekend. I think it was on Sunday, when my colleague Advocate Mkhize was in the process of conferring with her. The documents have been sent to Mr. Romano by Major General Van Rooyen, the legal person in the National Commissioner's office, and we have no doubt that it's a genuine case. It's an older son of hers who was hospitalized on Sunday. So we would respectfully request that she be excused from attending tomorrow. But we have indicated to Mr. Romano, and hopefully it will be condoned and accepted by the Honourable Committee, that she appears on Friday. On Friday, we had scheduled some public participation witnesses, that the public participation witnesses scheduled on this draft for the 4th of March, that's Wednesday, Mafoho and Chetty and then perhaps the ones mentioned on Friday, Rapoto and Ramajua, that they be moved to tomorrow afternoon. Obviously, it's not easy to predict what time it will take, but we do not expect Lieutenant General Mosakili to be that long. Certainly from our side. You may recall that attendance was required because she served as the acting National Commissioner for a brief period when General Masemola was on leave, and the directive from Minister Mchunu was brought to her attention on and after 31 December of 2024. So that's Friday. So we would propose that for tomorrow we have Lieutenant General Mosakili and the public participation witnesses. We have been in touch with Mr. Romano in terms of securing the attendance of these witnesses, whatever travel arrangements have to be made. Then for Wednesday, we propose a swap that Mr. Mashuga testifies first, and if we could perhaps make a 10 o'clock start. Mr. Mashuga might be quite long because he was the prosecutor in the matter against Trent and O'Sullivan. That's the matter that was removed from the roll, and although he's no longer in the NPA, he has indicated that he wishes to testify. His statement is near ready, and in fact, I want to ask to be excused from the meeting. Advocate Mkizi will continue to represent the team so that I can finalize Mr. Mashuga's affidavit during the course of this morning. Mr. Adams will follow with your leave. His affidavit is near ready, and Advocate Mogoetsi is liaising with him. Then on Thursday, we will kick off with Mr. O'Sullivan, to be followed by Sarah Jane Trent, whose affidavit also is near ready, and Advocate Mkizi is dealing with her in that regard. If we could move to the following week. On Tuesday, we have the suspended Inspector General of Intelligence scheduled. He has, according to his counsel that I'm liaising with, he has indicated to the President and to the relevant minister that he's been required by this honorable committee to appear on the 10th. He wishes to appear. So there's still some interaction between him and the President and the relevant minister. And we'll keep you informed, Honorable Chair. And then on the next day, we have Lieutenant General Vuma, whose statement, I think, has been sent already. I think it's finalized. And then we we end off on the 12th and the 13th with the National Commissioner, General Masemola, and Lieutenant General Mkunazi on the Thursday and the Friday. Thank you, Chair. While I have the floor, the only thing that I wanted to ask was a request which I have made on a few occasions with Mr. Tetiana, is that given that we are, according to the schedule anyway, only concluding our evidence on the 13th, that's Friday, and given that we still haven't received all the transcripts of all the witnesses, I have asked that that the assistance of our colleague Lerato Sikalala, Advocate Sikalala, who had been on our team up until the end of last year, to assist us with the summarizing the evidence. She was also on our team during a crucial first phase of this hearing when General Mkunazi, General Masemola, some key witnesses, the suspended minister, Mr. Matlala, and others all appeared, and it would be most useful to have her assistance. Her assistance would be limited to a number of days that she's able to set aside to assist. But I've been told that it would require Chair, you and the Honourable Committee to support such a recommendation, which will then go through to the Speaker, who will then authorise the State Attorney to secure her for that limited period and that limited role. Thank you, Chair. I can take any questions. Otherwise, that's our presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just to make one point clearer, Advocate, tomorrow, because by now we all know that the statement of General Msikiti is very short. Are we able to get, because Bonani has suggested to me that if you were to get some of the public participation witnesses available, they may come tomorrow. Is that what you are also presenting here?
Yes, Honourable Chair.
Okay. Are we succeeding in that regard?
I think Mr. Romano can perhaps speak, Honourable Chair, but we have been liaising with him.
Yeah, so that when members go into discussions, they know that part one tomorrow is going to be General Msikiti, and thereafter we will have one or two witnesses from public participation, if they would have confirmed. And so if they have not confirmed, members must know that they may have a short day tomorrow. Mr. Romano, do you have anything?
Yes, Chair. Maybe just to confirm that I had a discussion with Advocate Mkhize this morning. But the discussion was around public participation witnesses scheduled for Wednesday and not including Friday. I am in contact with Mr. Chedi and Mr. Mapo for them to appear before tomorrow. So far, Mr. Mapo seems to be able to appear before the committee tomorrow. Mr. Chedi might have a challenge for tomorrow. With regards to witnesses scheduled for Friday, I can confirm that it will be difficult to get some of them here tomorrow. For instance, one of them is in Lesotho, so it will be a challenge to get from Lesotho today or tomorrow for that appearance. We will try and see if we can get more for tomorrow, but for now, we can confirm that Mr. Mako will join us. Thank you.
Okay, so now on the schedule, you are presenting the proposal that members must endorse or ratify the appearance of General Musikidi and Mapo tomorrow.
Chair, that's correct. But should we be able to secure another witness for tomorrow, we will keep the committee informed.
Okay. Okay. And then for Friday, how many witnesses will be there on Friday? Because all of us by now, we know that Friday afternoons are very, very difficult for the committee. The witnesses that are coming on Friday, are we able to have them and deal with the business of the day before 1, 2, or 3 o'clock on Friday?
Chairperson, with regards to Friday, there are 2 witnesses who have submitted a statement yesterday. I've looked at the statement and also shared it with the evidence leader and Mr. Tekiana to look at and advise. So maybe we'll also share that with the committee so that the members can also have a look at it and advise if it is relevant to the terms of reference. But then should that statement be relevant, Friday we're likely to have 2 witnesses because the 2 who submitted statements yesterday will be making a joint submission. So
Okay.
yeah, so we'll have Friday, we'll have 2 on Friday, and then we are going to look at the program and see if we can move them forward. But it might be difficult because if you remember on Thursday, we've got Mr. Sullivan and Ms. Sarah Jane Trent. I don't know how long those 2 will take.
Yeah, it's a matter which the committee members will decide whether they will have a situation where they have both of them on one day, or they want to have them on separate days. Yeah, but I hear what you are saying. So Friday it will be 2, and you have this statement of these 2 witnesses that the committee will have to look at whether they must appear before the committee or they may be referred to the police portfolio committee. So we will await that advice from the legal team, but their statement can also be made available with them. With the members, not for the purpose of today's meeting, but for members to, at their own time, to go through the statement, and maybe during the week, either tomorrow or Wednesday, we can make a decision. Honorable members, I'm now going to rotate the 3 items. We got the report on the legal opinion, what is being suggested. Number 2, the latest on Mr. Paulo Sullivan, that it is proposed that he must come here on Thursday. And there is also the proposal that Ms. Sarah Jane Trent must also be here on that day. Members will advise, we will hear from you whether you want to have both witnesses on one day, or you would want to separate them, so that we don't have a situation where one of the witnesses feel that they have not been given sufficient time. If you remember, when we met with Mr. Paulo Sullivan for the first time, he was not satisfied with the time allocation because he said he wanted to say, he had a lot that he wanted to say, and he felt that there were so many things that were said about or against him, and he wanted to clarify them. So if members feel that they have issues that they may want to raise with Mr. Paulo Sullivan, we must know now from this meeting that when he comes on Sunday, it's the whole field day, or whether he comes for half a day. And if he comes for half a day, we can field or allocate Miss Sarah Jane Trent for the afternoon. And then if it means we must have one, we will then look for other dates where the other candidate will come. And the last item would be the schedule that has been presented here with the proposed amendments that Mr. Romano and Advocate Arendse have just added to say we will have General Musigidi and maybe one or two witnesses tomorrow. There has been a request from General Sintumule that she has a situation in her family and she will need to be there to give support to the child. So that is the request that she's making before the committee, for the committee to allocate another date. Those are the three matters, the three items that were circulating before the committee for discussion. The African National Congress.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. Let us welcome the reports as presented. And I would have thought that the matter of Mr. Teenage Kumbe, I think it is, you would have probably put here as part of scheduling issues. But let me speak to the matters that the Chair is directing us to speak to. On the matter of Paul O'Sullivan, Chairperson, the African National Congress welcomes the decisiveness with which this matter has been handled by both yourself, Chair, as well as the Speaker. We fully support the approach that Mr. O'Sullivan was invited, and had he failed to avail himself, he would be summoned. But we do want to once again make a point that him now conceding, or at least agreeing to appear on Thursday, does not negate, nor does it take away the fact that an offense was committed on that day. We've gone through the legal opinion and we concur with most of the legal opinion, except for what we think is a very narrow reading of, I think it's section 17, if I'm not mistaken, of PIPLA, where I think in the interpretation, the legal advice given to us seems to suggest that because he was not summoned, he was only invited, therefore that section doesn't apply. We think that if you were to take a purposive interpretation of legislation, it doesn't necessarily seek to distinguish between summoned and invited witnesses. So we do think a broader reading of that legislation would indeed apply to Mr. O'Sullivan as well. It's a point that we're raising just for noting, Chair, because we do think that even read then with the other sections, the case is still made that an offense was committed. Now, him appearing on Thursday does not mean that that offense falls away, and we would support that we still look at what action that can be taken with regards to that, because you do not want to open up a precedence, a can of worms, where anybody thinks that as and when they feel like it, they can just walk out of Parliament, then they will be invited back. I don't think that that's the message that we're trying to send to society. So we really support the pursuing of further action in relation to that offense that has been committed. Chairperson, on the second matter that you raised was, before we step off on the Paul O'Sullivan matter, it would be very good also, Chairperson, if we were given clarity because I know that this continuously comes up on defense by the defense. When Mr. O'Sullivan seeks to defend himself, that he says there was an agreement for him to leave at 1300 hours. I do not have a recollection of the chairperson telling us before that Mr. O'Sullivan will be released at that particular time. And I think it's important just for us to clarify ourselves to understand whether indeed there had been such an agreement, because I suppose it does raise whether then he was justified or not in his behavior. In the absence of that agreement, well, even if there was an agreement, we still think that an offense was committed, because even if there had been an agreement, he cannot dismiss himself when he's under oath. And I think both the Constitution and the law is clear on that matter. The second issue, Chair, on the scheduling of witnesses, I think the administrative changes that are being made, we don't have a problem with. We also accept the apology from General Sentemule with an understanding that the legal team working together with the committee staff will look at rescheduling her appearance again. And also the issue of Advocate Zikalala being brought back. I think we support that. Chair, I am just I'm just worried about the timing, and I'm hoping that bringing back Advocate Zikalala is going to assist us on this matter, because the extension that we have is until the 31st, if I'm not mistaken, of March, which means that by then we should have concluded our business, which includes the adoption of the report. Maybe we just need an assurance that the 2 weeks that we are giving, tight as it is sufficient time for the legal team, Advocate Arens's team working together with our committee team to finalize that report and ensure that it's put to us for deliberation before that date of 31st of March. Let me stop there, Chair. Unless you give me permission to voice an opinion on the issue of the proposed witness, Mr. Teenage Kumbe. I don't know if we're still coming to that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we are still coming to that one, Honorable Sangwe. I think it's the next item. Can I check Tejana or Advocate Arens? Do you want to respond to the question that Honorable Sangwe posed here regarding the arrangements with Mr. Paul O'Sullivan last week?
I've raised my hand, Chair. Don't forget about me. Thank you, Chair.
No, we're still coming there. I think there is just one matter that must be clarified, that when you come to speak, it enriches your understanding of issues.
Chair, can I speak? Or is
Yes, Advocate Arens, you are allowed.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, we never make any agreements or enter into any agreements with anybody, any witnesses, because we don't have the authority to do so. What we do is to say we will convey whatever it is to the committee chair. We normally do that through Vonani. And in this case, it was made, there was no agreement that Mr. O'Sullivan should leave early or at a particular time. What I did convey to you also, Honorable Chair, was that he needs to leave because he's got a 2 o'clock flight. And that was the extent. And I think on several occasions, Mr. O'Sullivan, from where he was sitting, may have indicated that he needs to leave. But there was no other agreement. As far as I'm concerned personally, and as evidence leader for this committee, it could have been much better conveyed, and certainly to simply get up and leave without having completed his evidence, and certainly without any permission from the from the Honourable Chair and the Honourable members of the committee, it was unacceptable. So that in terms of the background is, yes, he did indicate to us, which I had shared with Mr. Romano and the Honourable Chair, that he had to leave to catch a flight at 2:00. Yeah, but I can't speak for him otherwise, Honourable Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Skosana, do you want to ask a question or you want to be given a chance to speak?
Chair, it's
Honorable
Leanne Matthys. Oh, thank you, Chair. I've had my hand up for a while. I was just hoping that you would allow EFF to go next on these three matters. We're just about to start our next meeting, and we'd like to make a submission to the committee.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we go in?
Let
Can
me
we-
allow you to, and thanks very much for reminding me. Let me allow you to speak, and then the other members will be given a chance.
Okay, thank you, Chair. We really appreciate you just going off the process that we normally follow. We obviously have gone through the legal opinion, and we appreciate the time that the legal team put into it. In line with what Honorable Sangoni said, there's two different processes here. The fact that he's decided to come and appear again voluntarily does not cancel out that he was in contempt of Parliament. So the processes that are available to us, which includes opening a case of contempt, must be done. As you know, that a case has been opened. So we would like to make a recommendation that the committee recommends to the Speaker or whoever needs to do it, that they submit an affidavit to the case. We've already received the case number supporting that the matter, or supporting rather the investigation of the case, and then obviously ultimate prosecution, etc. So we are in line with that. In terms of the witness schedule, we're also fine with it. Just one of the things we do want to raise is that we don't have the same problem, one, with the scheduling of witnesses, and then the evidence leaders have not received the information in time. They haven't gone through it, and then we are shocked that some of the statements were not properly processed, and then information on there was not incorrect. So we hope that it wasn't just a matter of the statements being sent and we checked that they were signed, and then it's come before us without the evidence leaders properly going through it, and also our Parliament legal team, if that was the process that we are going to follow. Also, in terms of Paul O'Sullivan, there was also that matter that we received both a legal opinion about, and we submitted our letter to the Speaker of when he threatened one of our witnesses, Kabindi. And there's been no action on that. So maybe this is the time for us to discuss with the Speaker and the Speaker's office on what we need to do with that matter, along with this contempt of Parliament charge that we should be laying. Thank you, Chair. That's our input.
No, thank you so much, Honorable Matthys. Let me come back to you, Honorable Sangoni, because I'm not sure if you have concluded.
Yes, Chair, I've concluded, and I think the response to my question assists in that regardless of whether there'd been an agreement, the witness was still under oath. So our position has not changed. Thank you, Chair.
Do you still have any other speaker under your leadership who wants to contribute?
They are silent, Chair, so I think they are covered. Thank you very much.
Okay, you speak in one voice.
Thanks,
the MKP.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Let us first welcome the report that we've been given by our technical team. We think we would have done a very good job. The report is well balanced. And we commend them for preparing concurrently the invitation of Mr. Paul Sullivan with the drafting of summons. We want to commend them for that. But with regards to the Paul Sullivan matter, even if Chair, he had indicated to our technical team that he will leave at 13 hours. That is immaterial. When we're in a committee meeting, you subject yourself to the directives of the chairperson and to the directives of the committee. So if you don't adhere to the directives of the chair, you are contempting Parliament. So whether he made that indication or not, we don't think that that would be material under the circumstances. So we are supporting a call, Chair, that says, yeah, we must embark on a twofold approach. The first one is that which has been done by the legal team of inviting him to come back to the committee. And the second one is to attend to an offense that he has committed, an offense of impeding Parliament in its duties. So we must not overly focus on one aspect and overlook the other aspect. I think that is very important. And secondly, Paul Sullivan is not going to prescribe questions and time. And I think you have covered us very well there, Chair, to say when he comes back, we're not necessarily going to deal with the outstanding questions by the evidence leader, Advocate Mpizi. There are new matters which are arising now and are arising from his conduct. And we want to take those matters further. Hence our submission that members must be afforded, once again, an opportunity to engage with him, because there are many matters which are outstanding that we must discuss with him and which specifically arise from his conduct that he displayed on that day. Chair, and then because we're dealing with we think this is a perceived proposed list of outstanding witnesses. There is a witness that once appeared before our committee, and he was turned away while, before he made his testimony in Parliament. I think the reason was that because he's a former employee of SSA, so there are some prerequisites that he must comply with. So there is no accountability of that witness. What happened? Did that witness approach the SSA? And why is he not part of this list? Is it because SSA did not approve his appearance? And if that is the case, that would be worrisome, because SSA is an executive body. So the executive body can't tell Parliament how to run its activities. It can't tell us how to run our investigations, because our investigation might even go to a point where we investigate them. So if executive institutions have a determination of how witnesses or which witnesses must appear before us. So we just need an explanation, Chair, in that regard. There is that witness, I think you still remember him.
Honorable Member, we received your apology and it was recorded in the last meeting. That matter was reported comprehensively. We can brief you about it, how it was handled.
Okay, no, it's fine, Chair. Honorable Skosana will come in and take it from where I've left off.
You can proceed, Honorable
Chair?
Member. You can proceed.
Chair?
No, I'm saying Honorable Skosana will proceed, Chair. Am I audible?
No, yeah, but before, because Honorable Matthijs has also raised a matter on the report on the matter of Mr. Nkabinde.
Yeah.
You still remember that incident? I want to hear you.
Yes.
You haven't spoken to it.
Yeah, that is why, Chair, I'm saying Honorable Skosana, because we are speaking in one voice, will proceed.
Oh, okay, thank you so much, Honorable Kosana.
Thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, it's very important that we stand firm on this matter of Paul O'Sullivan. I think the Speaker as well, or Parliament, must open a case against Paul O'Sullivan. One, the issue which we are now reminding Honorable Nomvalo about the threat which O'Sullivan did when Nkabinde was a witness as well. I think it must come as well now on the table. We can't leave this thing unattended. And I think as well, Chair, the fact that there's this issue that he will come, that does not cancel the contempt of Parliament. The process must continue. The process must continue. Now, threatening a witness is a serious issue, Chair. It cannot be just left there and say, no, you know what, whatever happened, happened. No. The witness, Mr. Nkabinde, told us to say why he was still testifying. He received that WhatsApp message. And we all know what does that mean. We can't leave Paul O'Sullivan with these issues and say, you know what, is going to dictate terms to us. We must make sure that the Speaker or the Secretary of Parliament open a case against Paul O'Sullivan. This is a contempt of Parliament, and the issue that he has threatened the witness, that cannot be left in the dark. And I guess as well, South African Police Service, because in that precinct of Parliament, the integrity must be maintained at all costs. Once we are in that precinct, it's parliamentary precinct. Whether we are outside Parliament, in the parking, we are in Parliament, it has to be respected, Chair. So I'm saying in closing, Chair, is that Parliament must open a case against Paul O'Sullivan for the contempt of Parliament. And the issue of Nkabinde must as well. That threatening WhatsApp message while you are still a witness, before us. Indeed, we must make sure, because we never even received the report or on the legal opinion of that threat up to date, because we were promised that we're going to get a report on that issue of Nkabinde, that threatening WhatsApp message to Nkabinde. What did the Parliament did with that? We don't know as members of this ad hoc committee. And I think, Chair, that must be attended as a matter of urgency. I thank you, Chair.
Honorable Breitenbach.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, we accept the recommendations of the legal opinion. Mr. Sullivan is coming back. Let us cover the issues with him that we wish to cover and finalize the matter. And however we choose to deal with the surrounding issues is a matter for the committee to perhaps discuss at a different stage. For the rest, we agree with the submissions, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Breitenbach. I assume that the DA speaks in one voice.
Always.
The PA, Honorable Sols.
Chairperson, before I make my contribution, may I also say that I was delayed a bit this morning because I'm not in town and I am traveling back soon. So if I excuse myself during the meeting, I ask your indulgence, please, Chair. And my contribution in terms of Mr. Paul Sullivan, we do believe that he's in contempt and he must be dealt with in accordance with PIPLA. And then as far as the administrative changes are concerned, we are covered, Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Souls, Honorable Vessels.
Thank you, Chairperson. I agree on all three issues. Nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable James.
Thank you so much, Chair. We support all the submissions made this morning. Just on, I think, the legal opinion. I want to ask, when Mr. O'Sullivan reappears on Thursday, who's going to be liable for all the costs that's been incurred? Will it be him or will that come to Parliament again? And then also, we are happy with the schedule of witnesses. That's all. Thank you, Chair. Are you still there, Chair?
Oh, I have not unmuted myself. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Honorable James, I was saying that the last matter which you have raised with regard to who will foot the bill is a matter which the logistics team of Parliament will have to deal with. I should think that within their means or their arrangements, they know the economically effective ways to deal with the business of Parliament. And if they have any issues, they can always raise them with Mr. Paul Sullivan. I think they know our sentiment. And the other matter which members have raised with regard to opening of cases, we will elevate those matters to the office of the Speaker and report to her what the decision of the committee or the strongest sentiment of the committee is, that the committee feels that cases must be opened. And the office of the Speaker will make a decision on whether it seeks a legal opinion on the matter or it just goes straight out and opens a case. We will get a report from them how they would have dealt with that matter. But from our part, we will report to the office that the committee strongly feels and has decided that what Mr. Paul Sullivan would have done is a contempt of Parliament and would have violated some of the provisions in law, and steps would have to be taken against that behavior. And I think the rest of the issues the members have spoken unanimously. We are going to move to the next two items on the agenda.